What's up? Welcome to the Unstuck Podcast. I'm your host, Drew Koss, and you are in the right spot. This is where we discuss real life, real problems with real people. You're going to get unstuck. Now, while you're at it, make sure you subscribe and share this with a loved one. Let's get ready to get unstuck. Are you a person that really believes that work-life balance is a thing to achieve or you can achieve, even with having a child? If you think that, I want to hear why you think that, and I want you to hear why I think that that's probably not true. Welcome to the Unstuck Podcast. I'm your host, Drew Koss, and today we're going to dialogue. We're not going to necessarily debate. We're going to dialogue and maybe help each other. Potentially, we can give each other some different perspectives, and potentially we can both win. So, I'm a dad. I'm not a single dad. I am married. I'm a dad of a toddler and an 18-year-old. This episode is really about a toddler or a younger child for parents who have younger children who own businesses, who do podcasting, and who do things of that nature. While you're at it, go subscribe to the channel so that you can help us help more people. And if you didn't know, we teach people how to actually start and launch their podcast through a 30-day program called the 30-day bootcamp. But we also have a new offer where we help people with a 90-minute session. This is for someone who is serious. They know who they want to talk to. They just need the blueprint. Like we're ready to go. We're not even scared of speaking. We're confident on the mic. We know we're ready to go. That's a 90-day Power Podcast Day. And I'll put that link in the show notes. But that's available for you. I'm pretty sure you're going to have so much fun with that. And I'm happy because you're going to actually be able to launch your podcast instead of spending 7 to 8 months thinking about it. So let's get into the episode. Why do I say work-life balance isn't possible with a toddler? I honestly don't believe in work-life balance, period. And I'm not saying that in a way where it is saying you need to hustle all day or you just lay on the couch all day. I believe when we think about balance, we think that like it's like a point system that if I have 25 points, 5 points goes to kids, 5 points goes to task, 5 points goes to business, 5 points goes to spouse, 5 points goes to self-care. If you thought of it like that, you don't have enough time in the day and you don't have enough the ability to try to be even on all of those all the time. Now, I do believe, don't knock me, I do believe in certain seasons, you're going to be out of balance in certain seasons. I believe in certain seasons that certain things will have a different weight or have a different precedence. Someone sent me a video and this made so much sense. I should have saved the video to repost it, but I didn't. And they said when you have a kid, for that first month or first years, you lose a piece of your spouse, and your spouse loses a piece of you. And why do we say that? Because now your spouse has become really, really focused on helping this child, and you have too. Am I saying that's wrong? No, I'm not saying that's wrong. But the reality is, a lot of the energy that you would have to give to this kid and a lot of the energy you would have to pour back into this kid, you don't have it now. You are now at a place where this kid is waking up at night. If it's an infant, this kid has to be fed, pamper change. You gotta watch them differently. You gotta be a little more careful, and you are gonna be tired, no matter who you are when you have a kid. If you are a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, if you work a regular job, entrepreneur, when that kid comes, you're going to be tired. You're going to be tired. So you lose a piece of your spouse because that great energy they would be giving you, it now goes to the kid. And that can be a time of resentment, or it could be a time of me noticing and recognizing that, hey, this is a season right now. It's a season right now. It's not going to always be this way, but it's a season. And I always say, if you can, talk about what that season looks like with your person, even with yourself. I'm not going to probably be able to work out a lot, like, right, the same way I used to. I'm not going to be able to pull all-nighters like I used to. And this is why I don't believe in work-life balance, because this season doesn't mean that it's going to be like this forever. It's just a season. In the summertime, we don't normally wear big jackets. In the wintertime, we usually, not all, we usually don't wear just sandals. So seasons change and things change in seasons. That's one of my main reasons why I don't believe in work-life balance. No, you may say, Drew, so what do we actually do, or what do you do to get work done? Before we jump there, make sure you subscribe, and I want you to share this one with a friend. We want a friend to realize that we got some solutions for them, and we're human just like them. Like right now, my little one is asleep. If she runs downstairs, I probably won't stop recording. I'll probably talk to her real quick and keep recording, because I want you to notice that I'm a human. I'm not trying to be perfect for you to think I'm perfect. I'm trying to make progress, and I'm trying to still build my family. So the first thing I would say is I call them zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. With zone 1, this zone for me is I need to do this work, and I do not need to be disturbed at all. Now, mind you, I'm married, I have 2 kids, so I can't just wake up at 8 a.m. and expect for them to just literally leave me alone, not bother me, not talk to me, and let me get like pure focus work done. That's not gonna happen. When they wake up, bro. Like they wake up, and everything is going on. So I've always been an early riser, but one thing I had to learn was you have to marry that early morning time of getting up if you don't want to be agitated with not getting your zone 1 work done. So zone 1 work for me would be making sure whatever task I'm working on that week or that month that needs a lot of attention, I'm going to do that work early in the morning before anybody gets up, before I can be distracted. And that's usually around 4 a.m. I pray, I study, and I get right to that. And that's usually early, so that in case something happens in the day, I'm already at a place where I got a big chunk of the stuff that I needed to get done. I can have a little bit more peace throughout the day. So that's my zone 1 work. My zone 2 work is work that if I am disrupted, I'm okay. Maybe that's just like fixing a file, or it's usually not editing a podcast. It's usually not doing anything that would require me to be super, super focused. It's things that still need to be done, but in case somebody interrupts me, I'm not going to get mad, and I'm not going to get thrown off. So a zone 2 work could be work that you share maybe with the kid. I usually right now, it's summertime, take my kid to jujitsu with me. And even though I would want that to be zone 1 work, it's zone 2 work. And that kind of leads to zone 3. So zone 2 work is I'm still training. She's on another mat looking, and I'm still watching her. And my people who I roll with, they're looking as well, like, hey, you got to get that, go ahead. So zone 2 work. Or if Aaliyah's watching a TV show, I'll have my computer right there with her during the show, doing some zone 2 work. Now, zone 3 work is like me just finishing something or wanting to write things down. I'm okay if she's talking. I'm okay if she's running around, things like that. Now, I'm saying that I'm okay. I'm saying that in a way not to say that I'm putting those things before my daughter. I'm saying more so she also has to learn that work is something that we do. I don't want her to think that when she wakes up for the entire day that we do nothing but play with her. That's not realistic. And that's exhausting for the parent to have to deal with that. So zone 1 is I need to be completely focused, no interruptions. Sometimes me and my wife will do things where we know, like, if zone 1 work didn't get done and one of us are just sitting there struggling throughout this day, like, man, this is not good. We'll let each other go get like 2 hours of zone work. Like, hey, go to the library. I'll drop you off. Go to the library. Get your zone work done. You'll feel better when you come back. And you usually feel a lot better when you come back. So, brings me to number 2. So set time with your kids. Set time. If there's certain times of the day, I'll put a timer on and be like, this is just for me and her to play, me and her to do whatever. We'll usually go to the track, ride a bike, or we'll usually go outside, and she is under the sprinklers. We'll go to the playground, the library. Those times are just set aside for her. I also want her to know, we want our kids to know that, yes, there is time I'm going to set aside for you. My mom worked 3 jobs when she had us. So there was like no set time that she had with us. And shout outs to single moms, because that's my God, that's a hard thing to even balance. I don't think single moms even like have a chance to tap into real self care, because they're usually on so much for the kid and everything. So she didn't have that. And one thing I wanted my kid to know, my mom loved us. Yes. One thing I want my kid to know is that I'm able to spend time with them. I want to. I'm going to make that a priority to still do that. So when Aaliyah skates, sometimes when we're at the track, I skate. We're skating together. When she is riding her bike, I'm doing something with her at that time. Usually the phone is down and it's me and her. And she loves that. She always talks about, when you're done, can me and you go have daddy-daughter time? Can we go do these things? So that's having a set time with them. And this can be per day, per week. It's all going to be based on you. And don't feel like you're going to get this part perfect. Don't feel like you're going to nail this part just because I'm telling you that you can nail it. Sometimes, some days I'm wrestling with it. Sometimes, some days I don't want to do it. I'm being honest, because we're being transparent on the Unstuck podcast. I don't want to do it some days. It brings me into my third point. If you have a village who you trust, try to tap into your village. Try to tap into, hey, can you come over and watch them for an hour, 3 hours? Something that me and my wife have to do at times is we try to pull on our grandparents. Can we drop them off for 2 hours, 3 hours? Can we do this? And I understand that it could be hard, especially with trusting people around your kids, and just especially with just like how people are nowadays. But I believe if you have a village who you trust, we had a babysitter. She was wonderful. She would come over and she literally would be playing with Lee, teaching her things. She was amazing. A village, play dates, right? Play dates. If you can take the kid on play dates, that usually gives you a chance to sit with the parent, talk to an adult, and let them just run around and play. I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in certain seasons you're going to be out of balance in certain areas. I believe there are sometimes some sacrifices, but I believe become creative, but don't resent your child. Don't resent your child. Try to become creative. Try to think outside of the box. And things might look different for you than it does for somebody who doesn't have a kid, or somebody who has an older kid. Working with a toddler with time management and all those zones and things like that is different from a 16-year-old, because the 16-year-old usually doesn't want to bother you. They don't want to be playing with you all the time. They want to play with their friends. So it could be a little different. So if I was going to leave you with an action step to take, is find out, when do you have time to do your zone 1 work? Maybe that's at night. Maybe that's when they're at school. Maybe that's before school. And then I would ask yourself this question: when can you find some time for you, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes of meditation, reading, whatever you need to do or like to do? When are you going to find that time? As always, make sure you subscribe, share it with a friend so that we can keep growing this podcast. And our new offer that we have with the other offers is our 90-minute Power Podcast Day, where in 90 minutes, you're going to learn how to start and launch your podcast. There's no gimmicks. We're going to give you the truth. We're going to help you. And then after that, you're going to be able to launch your podcast. Besides that, guys, be great, guys. I'm out of here. I cannot say thank you enough for listening to this episode. Do me a favor, subscribe and share it with a friend. Okay. Help us help more people as we share a message of getting unstuck with real life problems with real people solving them. Be great.